Hello, my Healthpreneur friends. I want to share with you 3 reasons why social media is not going to help you get clients in 2022 and likely beyond. Hey guys, what's going on? Yuri Elkaim here, CEO and founder of Healthpreneur. And in this video, I'm going to share some really interesting stats and realities you should be aware of if, like most people, you rely on social media to get clients. And what I'm about to share with you is not going to be that encouraging, but it's very important you know this so that you don't waste your time going down rabbit holes that have no light at the end of the tunnel. So what I want to talk about specifically here is what's happening with Facebook and Instagram specifically, because quite honestly, that's where most of us spend our time. There are 3 billion users between those 2 platforms. Facebook owns Instagram, just in case you're wondering, and that's where the vast majority of people are hanging out. TikTok obviously is up and coming, and it's going to become a huge, or it already is becoming a huge social platform. So what I'm about to share with you doesn't apply as much to TikTok. TikTok is, and I've mentioned this before, probably as of this recording, the only platform when it comes to social media where you can still get some viral organic traction. That's going to change though, okay? Because like Instagram, like Facebook, TikTok is a free platform. And if it's a free platform, guess how they're going to make money? You got it. On your eyeballs, called advertising. Anyways, it's coming. We've already been one of the early adopters for TikTok ads over the past couple months, and it's only going to become bigger in the future. So if you're on TikTok, enjoy it, make the most use of it. But I want to share with you why it's important to understand why social media is not the solution to getting clients in your health business this year or really beyond. Okay. So there's 3 things I want to share with you. Number 1, the thing you have to understand is that social platforms, the algorithms, and again, what I'm talking about specifically is the organic free posting, okay? These platforms are built very much like Google's SEO engine is built. It rewards those with clout. So in the search, in Google search, if you are a massive publishing platform, the likelihood of your stuff getting pushed to the top of Google is very good compared to if you are a small business with a couple pages of content on your website. Because you're competing against the webmds.com, the wikihows.com that have hundreds of thousands of pages of content and even more links, linking back to that content. So when it comes to social media, it's very similar. If you have a large following, great. Your stuff is going to get pushed to the top of the explore pages on Instagram, for instance. Your stuff is more likely to get found if people engage with your content, if you have more followers. But if you don't, when I say more followers, I'm talking like north of 50,000 followers, even way beyond that, hundreds of thousands, millions of followers. These are the people that are winning on Instagram in a big way. And then there are others who have a couple hundred followers, a few thousand followers, and it's very, very challenging, I'm sure you've noticed, to get your stuff seen on Instagram. Now, so that's the first thing, is if you don't have a huge following, it's going to be a very tough go, okay? And this is just the way the nature of the beast. A couple of weeks ago, I was watching an interview with the head of content or the head of marketing for Instagram. And the interviewer was asking him, what do you think Instagram doesn't do as well as TikTok does? And he said it. He said what Instagram does not do well is it doesn't promote new talent. Literally verbatim. And that goes back to what I talked about with TikTok, is TikTok is the only place right now where you can post something, have no followers, and all of a sudden you have 20,000 followers overnight because that video somehow got picked up and went crazy. And that's what Instagram used to be like 10 years ago, but that's changed obviously. And that is why Instagram right now, again, from one of their heads is saying, we do not do a good job at highlighting and spotlighting and promoting relatively fresh talent, people who don't have large followings. And that's just the way the platform is. Okay. So just be aware of that. The second reason social media is not going to help you get clients, now I'm not saying listen, I'm not saying it's impossible to get clients from social media because you probably have gotten some clients. But I'm saying with respect to when we're looking smart, let me backtrack. Smart business owners think like investors, and investors are always looking at asymmetric risk and reward. So where can I put in a little bit of time for the biggest return? That's the way you want to think about this, as opposed to where can I put in the most amount of time for a small return, which is social media at this current time. And so what I'm suggesting is that it's not that you can't get clients. It's just that for the amount of time and effort and energy you have to put in, the payoff, especially if you have a smaller following, is so small. And I'll show you what to do instead at the end of this. Okay, so keep watching. Second reason social media is probably not the best idea in terms of you posting organically all the time. And again, I'll provide a bit of context for this in a moment. So just, stay with me. Facebook, statistically, is showing your post to 2% of your followers. So if you have 1,000 followers, roughly 20 of them are going to see anything you post. Now, let me share some more stats with you here, if that's not discouraging enough. So let me start off with Facebook. And this is according to sproutsocial.com. So they're obviously pulling data from different Facebook sources here. Okay, so the Facebook engagement rate per post across all industries was 0.09%. That sounds great, right? Less than 0.1% of people are engaging on Facebook. That's not great, okay? Now, on Instagram, the trend is going in the same direction. So the engagement rate on Instagram is 1.22%. That's down by 23% from where it was in 2019, which was 1.6% engagement. So the engagement across all industries on Instagram today is about 1.22%, and it's only going down. Remember, Facebook, 0.09%. So what does this mean? What does this mean to you and your business? This means that most of the stuff you put out there is going to be seen by no one. Most of the stuff you put out there is going to get little to no engagement. And that's super frustrating, right? So the third, I'm going to come back to some stats here in a moment, but the thing this leads into the third reason that social media is not your best bet for getting clients is that it is very frustrating to spend a lot of time creating content that no one sees, right? And even if they do see it, they're not doing anything with it, right? Think about this, right? You're lined up at Starbucks or you're sitting on the toilet or whatever you're doing, and all we've been trained to do is swipe, heart emoji, like whatever. That's not the best way to engage people. Now, again, is it impossible to get clients from social media? 100% not. We've generated millions of dollars from free organic posting on Instagram alone. So I just want to be very clear about that. But I also want to mention that you have to understand where your business is at. I've mentioned this before. Instagram was not a component of what we did with Healthpreneur for the first 3 years in our business. It was only until 2 of our mastermind clients, Amanda Tress and Stephen Cabral, specifically told me, hey man, you should probably do some Instagram stuff. And at the time, I'm like, I don't want to post pictures of everything I eat and track everything I do throughout the day. It took me a long time to finally come around to the fact that okay, it's an interesting platform. But I'm sharing this with you because our business was already multiple millions by that point. I didn't start from scratch and post on Instagram hoping to get clients. And this is the biggest mistake I see people in all industries make, is they're using these free platforms to try to generate paid business. And although it can work, and yes, there are many experts out there that talk about, having DM conversations with people on Instagram and posting organically is the best way to grow a business, 100%, right? It's the same reason why I'm sharing this stuff is not the best, because I have a better option. I have a better way of doing things, at least in my point of view. Just like they might have a better solution to, webinars or paid ads or other stuff. But you have to understand, you have to figure out what's going to make the most sense for you. You have to look at the landscape and say, okay, cool. Based on my resources, based on my current assets, does this make sense? And my suggestion to my clients is you focus on the 4 ones. One target market, you've got one offer, one program, one coaching program, one acquisition funnel until you make $1 million. Okay. As soon as you make $1 million and you want to start doing some Instagram, some YouTube, some podcasting, hey, listen, by that point, you have a team and people to support you, go for it if you want. You don't have to, but you can if you like to. But it's dangerous to try to do all that stuff for free from ground zero, because I can't tell you how many thousands of people, when I say people, thousands of personal trainers, online fitness coaches, naturopathic doctors, health coaches, dietitians, nutritionists, wellness experts, chiropractors, physical therapists, osteopaths, etc. Clients that we work with, okay? We have spoken with thousands more who we have not worked with, who come to us because they're doing things like spending all day on social media and creating videos like, and these, dancing voiceovers and stuff like that, or they're doing whatever the flavor of the day is, and they're not getting the traction that they want. Yeah, like sure, the odd hit here and there, they might get a client or a few, but it's not sustainable. It's not predictable. It doesn't work if they don't do the work. So remember, asymmetric risk reward, you're putting in a lot of time for a very little amount of return. We want to do things where you put in a little bit of time and energy for a big return. And that's why if you guys have watched my stuff, I mean, for us, it's a perfect client pipeline all day, every single day. Whether or not you deploy a perfect client pipeline, I want to share some ideas with you that will help you on social media. Okay, so I'm saying don't spend a tremendous amount of time. Don't make it the foundation. But if you have a bit of time and you want to grow your following, if you want to grow your content reach on social, it is a good idea, but it's a long-term game. Okay, so I'm going to give you some strategies and ideas here to help you make the most of it. Okay, so number one is when you post something on Instagram or Facebook, we're talking about these two specifically, but again, this will apply to most platforms, is engage with people as soon as possible. So if someone leaves a comment on your stuff, respond to them as quickly as possible. That's going to feed the algorithm. That's going to engage more people. It's going to show your content to more people that are like them. Okay. Second is, first of all, let's look at it 2 ways: like and respond. So respond to every comment and give it a like. Okay. That should be like bare minimum. Second thing is write meaningful captions. So if someone responds to your stuff, and I'm only talking about inbound, I'm not even talking about stuff you could do on other people's stuff. I'm just talking about like your own content that people are responding to if they do, is just write something meaningful. The simplest thing you can do is, instead of just like at username, is at username. So let's just say I'm Yuri responding to something on, or leaving a comment on your thing. You would respond something like at Healthpreneur. Thanks so much for the thoughtful comment, Yuri. You put the person's first name in. And the reason why that's important is it means you took 2 seconds to click on their name, check out their profile, and get their first name. And that goes such a long way, because it's so easy to just put like at username 100%, right? And listen, like I do that stuff because I'm lazy sometimes, but if you can personalize it, it's going to be so much better. Second thing is with the content itself, think about engaging your audience with questions. So if you're writing a caption for an Instagram post or a Facebook post, finish the post with a question. And ideally a question that is easy to answer. So if you have, as an example, like this video, I'm talking about 3 ways social media, or 3 reasons why social media is not going to help you get many clients. I could ask, of these 3, which one resonates with you most? Just type 1, 2, or 3 in the comments below. That's it, right? It's super simple. You type 1, you type 2, or you type 3. That's it. It doesn't require a huge amount of thinking. It's going to engage. It's going to get more comments, and then you can respond to those. On Instagram itself, definitely be using stories. I don't know if you know this, but stories get way more reach, more engagement than your feed will. And within stories, again, think of how do you engage people in stories is you use polls, you use questions, you get people to like press the screen. All of those little touches increase your engagement, and the more engagement you have, the more people are going to see your stuff. Let me switch gears real quick to Facebook before we finish this off. When it comes to Facebook, over the past, I'd say 1.5 years, Facebook has really moved away from promoting content on business pages, which in the first place were just like little to none in terms of reach, and really shifted towards groups. So if you don't have a Facebook group for your business, we recommend having 2, one for your paid clients, one for non-clients. And most of your content, I would gate behind your free Facebook group, right? Like you'll notice that most of these videos happen in our free Facebook group. I don't really push them on our business profile or our fan page, if you will, because no one sees it. Okay. I would rather build a community within our group and engage with the people that are a little more interested in being part of what we're doing here. So that's, a really simple thing for you to do. Typically groups will get more engagement because people are more active in them. And then the other thing with groups is that they become like a second email list. So you can use ways, because not everyone's going to read your emails. Not everyone's going to see your posts on Facebook. But if you have them in both places, you have 2 extra touch points, or 1 extra touch point at least, to now engage in a dialogue and go a little bit deeper with people, especially in a group, than you might by email. So just a couple things to consider if you're using Facebook groups, and or Instagram. Hopefully those make sense for you. But just before we finish off, I just want to reiterate, when you're looking at your business, you have to think of, and I'll probably do a training on this, like really how to think through your business model. Like, what is your business model? A business model is essentially how you attract, convert, and deliver to clients. And if you don't know what that is, and if the business model is like, well, I just post occasionally on social media, that's not a business model. And it doesn't require a huge amount of, like, you don't have to write a 40-page business plan. You don't have to go look for loans, but you do need to have a predictable system for generating the type of revenue you want to generate. And if you don't know how to do that, that's okay, right? That's why we exist. And if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I'm all in on the perfect client pipeline. Why? Because it works every single time. We've generated $217 million for our clients. And the only thing you have to be very, very good at is knowing how to help someone solve a specific challenge they want resolved. Everything else is figure outable with the right mentoring, coaching, etc. Anyways, I've got a ton of other videos on the perfect client pipeline. You can just search the channel on YouTube and find that stuff. In the meantime, let me go back to my question. Of the 3 reasons that social media is most likely not going to help you grow in 2022, which one of those 3 resonates with you most? Just type 1, 2, or 3 in the comments below. Just as a quick recap, number 1 is it favors the big players, not the little guys like us. Number 2, the engagement on Facebook and Instagram is terrible, which means that all the stuff you post, most of it's not getting seen. And number 3, it's outright frustrating to spend so much time creating content that doesn't see the light of day. So which one of those 3 is most resonant with you? Let me know in the comments below. If you're watching this on the YouTubes, you know what to do. Hit that damn subscribe button, right? Got tons of other videos to help you build a great health business online. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have an awesome one, and I'll see you soon.